Hi there. Today we did a harvest of the cherry tree. So we tried to harvest as many cherries as possible. Unfortunately, it's too many. Well, unfortunately, or may I say, fortunately, it's too many. So we couldn't really harvest the whole cherry tree. And I'm only talking about the small cherry tree, right? We're talking about the smallest size you can get. And it filled up 2 bowls. And we've before this, we've also been picking cherries every day to eat for breakfast, and for lunch, for dinner, for whatever time of the day we can. A better description of what we're doing is we are gorging ourselves in cherries, and yeah, it's been fun. And this is something that happens more or less every year, and sometimes more, sometimes less. But in general, the cherry tree is very reliable. It's a Stella cherry tree, a rootstock which is for smaller trees. Can't remember the exact name. I'll post in the description if I remember that. Anyway, what I'm going to do with this. 2 years ago, actually, I did jam from the cherry tree using a very simple recipe. Many recipes you see on the internet, they'll ask you to buy pectin and more ingredients, I think. But actually, you don't need pectin because pectin is actually part of the fruit itself. If it's not completely ripe, you'll have plenty of pectin, right? So what the recipe is basically about is about mixing the well, basically all you have to do is take the stones from the cherry. You basically have to open up all the cherries, take the stone out. Then you put into a pot and you mix it with sugar. And yeah, I think you also have to make sure you smash it as much as you can, or you use some kind of grinder, right? But I think, yeah, I have to remind myself about those steps. But it's a very simple recipe. Then you heat it until it goes into a jelly-like consistency. You use a spoon, and with a spoon you're able to check whether the jelly is more or less able to stick to the spoon. The spoon itself, I think, has to go into the freezer or something to be cold so that you can understand whether, yeah, that's the basic procedure, right? But it's fun, right? And the last time we did this, we had 3 pots of jam, 3 medium-sized pots. One we gave it away to our neighbors. The other 2 we kept them. Last year I only used one of these bowls. Well, 2 years ago I only used one of these bowls. This time I have 2. So it's going to be double the normal size. I'll make sure also that I'll have the sterilized jam containers ready, and then I will be able to start making the jam. The first thing we have to do is we need to remove the stones from the cherries. And you have to be a bit patient. We have lots of cherries to go through. So this might take a while. And see you again in the future. A few minutes later, not fast enough, apparently. So we need to go a bit quicker, right?
We or me?
And the first bowl of cherries is ready. So, yeah, it's a lot more than we thought we had, to be honest. I'm not sure whether we have enough jars to fill up all the jam once we're done with this. But, you learn as you go. So I've cut all the cherries and cut them into little pieces. And now I've put them in a pan and I'm boiling it. I'm trying to cook it. So I'm kind of not sure whether this is going to work out or not, because to be honest, I have far more cherries than what I had last time I did this. And today I'm missing a key ingredient, which might be a problem or not. It's basically a lime or lemon, which basically the last time I did this, I used the lemon skin and I added it to the jam. Well, I added it to the cherries, and the idea is it will make up for the pectin that I don't have as well, but that's actually something I did on purpose. The question is, I think all the fruits have pectin anyway. The only thing affects pectin, the quantity of pectin, is how ripe the fruit is. And thankfully, these cherries are not fully ripe, so I'm expecting not to have any issues with this. But we'll see whether I'm going to end up with a mess of cherry fluid, or at the end I might get a cherry jam if I'm lucky. We'll see. So I'll see you again in the future. Now it's well and truly boiling, and I can see that I have roughly 3 liters of cherries. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to add an equivalent amount of sugar in stages, yeah, and I'll mix it together until it becomes more diluted. So I'm going to add some sugar to this measuring cup, about 1 liter, and I'll add it. Just make sure that still, yeah, it's a bit more. I think I have exactly the same amount of sugar here, so that should be the whole thing actually. Yeah, so 1 kilo of sugar, 2 more kilos to go. I do have a lot of jam, so that's why I'm adding so much. Hope it goes well. I'm not really sure how this is going to turn out to be, you know. I'm just winging it. I've done it once. That's the only thing I can say, but doing it once doesn't make me an expert. But you know, you never know. Let's see. It feels like it's a lot of sugar, but there's a lot of jam, and yeah, I don't want to take any chances. So I'm just mixing together all the sugar. It's getting more and more diluted. Okay. So now I'm going to add more sugar. Still have more. I still have two more. I guess 2 more liters of sugar to add, but I'm going to add it in stages, you know. So if it kind of feels actually, it's starting to get quite more or less soggy, like less liquid. So I think this is a good sign. I'm just going to let it boil for a while more, and then later on, if I will add some more sugar. Okay. Okay. So I'm going to close the lid and let it boil. I'll add the 2 cups later, but I'm not going to really record it, but you know it's coming. So let me just show you what I'm doing in the meantime. So you see I've added these jars inside the oven, and I'm heating them at 160 centigrade, 160 degrees Celsius. And the idea is to sterilize the jars. I didn't include the lids or anything with plastic because I know that it's going to damage in the heat, right? So for the lids, I'm going to use boiling water to sterilize it. It seems like it's a bad idea not to have added the lemon skin or pectin at all, because the cherries don't have much of it at all. So I think I have a solution. Since I don't have a lemon at home, I do have orange, so I'm going to try and make some, to peel a little bit of an orange skin, and in this way I will hopefully be able to salvage my massive quantities of jam that I have right now. The problem is it won't settle, you know. You're supposed to, it should be more consistent, and without pectin it will not really work very well. So I'm going to make some we call it orange peel. So let's see. So I'm going to use this and this to try and get some skin out, and I'll mix it into the jam. Hopefully it will work. We'll see you in the future. So I'm still not sure whether I'm going to be able to make it. I mean, I'm not sure whether the jam is going to be able to make it. It would be a shame because it was like 3 liters of cherries. And yeah, I invested all my cherries in this outcome, and I think it's probably not the wise thing to do, you know. But next year I'll learn from this, I'm sure. If it goes wrong, um, I think maybe I can use it as juice instead. Maybe we'll see how it goes. Yeah, I might still be able to make it. I mean, the jam might still be able to make it. So I'm not going to lose any hope until it's finally gone. So now we're canning the jam. I'm not sure whether it really worked out or not. We'll find out. I think it wasn't as thick or as jelly-like as I was hoping for, but you know, you learn from experience. Thankfully, I only used 3 kilos of cherries, you know. So a good advice is try to use less and work out the recipe. I've done this 2 years ago, but it seems like I was able to hack the recipe and, well, I tried to hack the recipe and I thought without lemon packaging it would work. It seems like it doesn't. And I tried to use orange peel, but I'm not sure whether that really helped or not. But you know, you never know if you don't try. Hi there. So this is the day after, and I have put the jam outside to cool down, and I've also afterwards I've put them into the fridge because honestly I didn't trust myself when I was trying to sterilize the jars because after everything was sterilized, but after that we made a big mess trying to put the jam inside the jars. So as you can see, it's a lot of jam that we have. I think this is going to last maybe for a year at least, and I'm going to try and give to some of my you know, innocent neighbors some of the jam, so we don't have to have it forever, right? So we can share some of the spoils of our fruit. Anyway, it seems like we have some kind of jam, right? And at this stage, I don't know whether this is going to be good enough or not. And I don't know whether this jam is actually just like syrup or it's actually jam. You know, after all the mistakes I've done in recipe, and I probably wouldn't encourage you to follow the exact same recipe, you know, it's quite natural to think that maybe this is a big disaster. And I invested 3 kilos of cherries, pretty much, and I went all in. I put everything into one pot. I don't think it's a good idea. You probably want to split it into smaller chunks so that I think it's easier to cook, and also if you make a mistake the first time, you can fix it the next one. But anyway, you can say I'm a gambling type, and because I've done it once before, I thought, okay, I knew what I was doing, but obviously not, because at some stage when I was cooking the jam, I realized that it wasn't turning any. It wasn't really turning into jam. So I had to improvise, and I found I had some oranges at home, and oranges are supposed to also have pectin, like lemon, probably not as much. So I just peeled some orange skin and I've put into the pot. And now the question is this going to be something that we can use as a jam, or is it going to be something we're going to throw away? And I'm going to do the test right now. So I'm lying. I already did the test, but you know what I mean. Okay, so I'm going to just show you. Like, actually, the best test was that our family. I wasn't even the first one to eat the jam, right? So, yeah, everyone wanted to try it before me. So I'm the only. I'm the last one trying the jam. So, but it must be good because it's, you know, this jar was full. Yeah, and let me just 1 second. You can see it does look like jam. Before it was like more like a liquid, and now it seems to have some kind of consistency. So let's see. Let's see if this is any good. obviously. Don't think, don't follow my recipe. There's plenty of good YouTube videos which actually show you how to cook cherry jam. If you want to, but you should watch my video mainly to remember, you know, to learn why you should, for example, add lemon skin to your jam, and you know all the mistakes you will learn from this video. And I think I do appreciate the fact that sometimes, you know, you don't just, well, at least I'm not the type of person who just follows a recipe and tries to follow the instructions exactly. I always try to deviate a bit and see how things turn out to be, you know, whether sometimes a recipe will have some elements which are just like superstition, you know. Add lemon skin to the jam. What is lemon skin going to do? Okay, well, now we know, right? Sometimes it might be superstition, and sometimes it's actually good common sense, because it's like chemistry. So I'm going to have a try. It's very good. But it has lots of sugar, right? So I had to add, for 3 kilos of cherries, I had to add 3 kilos of sugar. I tried to add less, but the consistency wasn't coming, so I had to use the full amount, which was prescribed. I believe that if you try to use proper pectin, you know, you can buy that as an ingredient in the supermarket, you even have to use more sugar. So even though it sounds like a lot of sugar for jam, this is less than normal. And I think that's about it. I hope you enjoyed this video and you found it useful. And yeah, I hope to see you again soon. Happy jam!